welcome back.
Happy April, everybody. Hopefully you didn't have people being jerks to you.
Oh, yeah. Like the jerk at school. Not kidding, just kidding. She's not really a jerk.
She was cruel, though. She made a cake out of sponges, like literal kitchen sponges, and we don't joke about cake.
No, we got an email this morning that said, "Hey, there's a cake. Go eat it." And my tummy was growling, and I went to get the cake, and I was like, wow, that cake is cut really clean, because there was like a piece missing from it, and it's because it was not a
Little
cake.
rectangular kitchen sponges.
Yeah, that was mean.
It was mean.
I hate April Fool's Day.
So I went to the store and bought a cake.
Heck yeah.
A delicious churro cake.
It was pretty good. It tasted like without the frosting, it tasted like the little cinnamon donuts that we get.
Yeah.
And those are my favorites.
Like I said, I've had it before, and it was delicious, and so they had it, and I was like, this is better than getting chocolate cake or vanilla cake. So I got churro cake instead.
It was pretty good. Well, what else is new?
Nothing really. My voice is still croaky, so I guess it's pretty good that I don't have a story this week.
Yeah? Are you going to have one next week?
We'll see.
Right.
It's always a mystery to everyone involved.
Yes. We'll have to... I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm like a... Not like a mystery box, but like... I don't know what I'm trying to say. Never mind. Okay, well, we're gonna do a kind of fun one this week because my next one is not so fun.
All right.
So, we're gonna take a little trip.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We're gonna go visit Plattsburgh, New York.
Okay.
Yeah. Where we visited before.
We've visited there physically before.
Sure have.
Now we're going to visit there in our minds.
Yeah, we are. Specifically, we're going to visit Lake Champlain.
All right.
So, Lake Champlain is a 125-mile-long freshwater lake between New York State and Vermont and extends up into Quebec, Canada.
I've seen it.
We have seen it. In fact, I've put my feet in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is named after the French explorer Samuel de Champlain, who, quote, discovered it in 1609.
I love it when people discover things that
have already been discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of the people who actually discovered it, the Abenaki and Mohawk tribes, they have their own names for the lake, but I'd really like to not be disrespectful and completely butcher the names, and so if you want to go look them up, you can, but the Mohawk name was, like, really scary looking.
Yeah, I have Mohawk friends, and whenever they put, like, words from their language on, like, Facebook and stuff, I'm just like, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this word.
Yeah. Your friend that we ate breakfast with in New York, she was Mohawk, right?
Mm.
Yeah. She was very pretty.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. And very nice. I think she was the first person to ever feed me Nutella.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for that, I will be forever grateful to her. And she took us to a nice little place to eat breakfast.
Yes,
so
it was very pretty.
was
So this
very
one goes out to you, Cass.
That's right. All right. So fun fact. In 1998, Lake Champlain was designated the 6th Great Lake in a federal law related to the National Sea Grant College Program, which would allow Vermont institutions to access funds reserved for states that border an ocean or a Great Lake. The designation was revoked 18 days later.
All right.
Yeah. Another fun fact about Lake Champlain is that it is home to the oldest known fossil reef in the world. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Me either.
Like, I know that we have, like, old, like, fossil reef stuff here, like, with the caverns and stuff, because everything was ocean at some point. But that was weird. And then that leads us to the funnest fact of all, which is that Lake Champlain is home to a lake monster known as Champ. And sometimes Champy.
Yes.
All right, so the Abenaki, I'm assuming I'm saying that right. It's Abenaki.
I have no idea. We're going to go with it.
It's one that I've never heard of before. And the Iroquois, which I think from what I was kind of gathering is that the Mohawk are part of the Iroquois.
I don't know.
If I'm wrong, please don't get mad at me. They have legends about a large horned serpent that lives in the lake. The Abenaki call this creature the Gitaskog, or no, I'm going to say that. And they had even warned the French settlers in the area not to disturb the lake so as not to disturb the serpent. So Champ goes at least as far back as that.
Okay.
The first sighting of Champ was possibly by Samuel de Champlain himself. A document found written by Champlain states, quote, "There is also a great abundance of fish of many varieties, among others one called by the savages," his word, not mine, "of the country this is a French word, chaufferot, which varies in length, the largest being, as the people told me, 8 or 10 feet long. I saw some 5 feet long, which were as large as my thigh, the head being as big as my 2 fists, with a snout 2.5 feet long, and a double row of very sharp and dangerous teeth. Its body is, in shape, very much like that of a pike, but it is armed with scales so strong, and a poniard could not pierce them. Its color is silver gray." So, like, just if you heard that, what would you think it was?
I don't know. It just strikes me as, like, river monsters.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people think that this was probably like a long-nosed gar.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's all kinds of big, creepy fish in lakes and rivers.
Yeah. So, in the summer of 1970, there was an issue of a magazine called Vermont Life that came out that reported that Champlain documented seeing a 20-foot serpent thick as a barrel and a head like a horse. But beyond that magazine, there doesn't seem to be any other evidence that he ever said that.
Okay.
The next report of...
I hate it when you can only find one source of something.
Yeah, but I mean, even everything else that I read said this magazine was the only place this was ever said.
Mm.
And so, I don't want to say they made it up, but...
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it makes it hard to know what's correct when you can only find one source that says something.
Exactly. Excuse me. So, the next report of Champ comes from an 1819 report from the Plattsburgh Republican entitled "Cape Ann Serpent on Lake Champlain." The article states that a Captain Crumb, which was in quotations...
Okay.
I don't know. There
are some who call me Tim.
Was on a scow in Bulwaga Bay, which is like pretty far south on the lake near Port Henry, which is like almost like the most southern part of the lake, when he saw an enormous serpentine monster with the head resembling a seahorse come about 15 feet out of the water. He said it was about 187 feet long and was about 200 yards away from him when he observed it. He claims that the monster was being followed by, quote, 2 large sturgeon and a billfish.
187 is a very precise measurement.
Sure was.
Especially for something that's 200 yards away.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, that thing's 187 feet long.
Oh, well, let me tell you. I have more about this, like, distance thing in a second. So, the monster's being followed by 2 large sturgeon and a billfish.
Yes.
And I'm, like, wondering if, like, Champ has a posse. This is
his
entourage. So, old Captain Crumb says that...
If that's even his real name.
Right? Captain Crunch. He said that it had 3 teeth and eyes the color of peeled onions. It had a, quote, belt of red around its neck and a star on its forehead. So,
That's fantastical.
Right? So, here are my thoughts. First, I'm terrible with distance. And so I tried to see if I could put 200 yards into something I could comprehend. And it's like 1/10 of a mile. And so I still don't know how far away that would be if I was
Isn't
like standing
somewhere.
somewhere.
Isn't a football field like 100 yards?
Ooh.
So would it be like 2 football fields?
Football fields. Man, you're so
I
sports-minded.
I know. I am the queen of sports.
You love the sports balls. Okay, so... Yeah, so 2 football fields. Hey, there you go. And I was just like, I also like computed it to 600 feet, and I was like, my only frame of reference is that when Siri tells me to turn in 600 feet, I'm like I don't know how far 600
Right.
feet is.
Is that close? Is that far away?
No. And so it seems kind of far to be able to see that it had 3 teeth and eyes the color of peeled onions.
And just any of the other details, like the star on the forehead. And
with the star on its forehead, I'm guessing it's either a superhero or it's Littlefoot. So it's, I don't know, very precise though.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
187 feet, which is big.
well, that's one of the things I was thinking, but like, just to throw that number out there from 200 yards away.
Yeah. What is 187 feet in terms of yards? How many football fields is that?
Let's see, not quite. It's what, like...
I am not a math teacher, everybody. Don't.
187 is, what, 60 yards? So, like, half a football field?
Like 62 yards.
Little over half of a football field?
Yeah. That's a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving past Captain Crunch. And math. In 1873, an article was published in the New York Times that claimed that a railroad crew saw a gigantic serpent that was over 30 feet long, had a snake-like body, had bright silvery scales that glistened in the sunlight, and moved in large coiled movements.
187 is over 30.
It sure is. So, I guess he's not wrong. This article drew the attention of P.T. Barnum of circus fame. He offered a reward of $50,000, which is a cool $1.3 million in today dollars, to anyone that would bring him the creature, claiming he wanted, quote, the hide of the great Champlain serpent to add to my Mammoth World's Fair show. He made the offer again in 1887, and I'm guessing no one claimed the reward.
I'm gonna go with no, but, why do we gotta kill everything?
I don't know. Well, and then I saw a news report from, like, the Today Show or something from, like, the early 2000s, and that reporter said that P.T. Barnum was offering the reward to bring him the serpent dead or alive, but, like, that seemed to be, like, a direct quote from P.T. Barnum, which sounds dead.
Yeah. When you want the hide of something, generally you want it dead.
And if you're putting in the World's Fair show, like, and it's 187 feet, what are you going to put it in? You don't have a tank that big.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That same year, 1873, in July, another sighting of Champ came from Sheriff Nathan Mooney, who claimed to have seen a water serpent 20 rods away from where he was standing on the shore. So let's just throw some obscure measurements in here, since I can't actually visualize normal measurements.
Yes.
This is apparently about 110 yards.
Okay.
So this is how far away he was, not how big the monster was. So Sheriff Mooney is about twice as close to the monster as Captain Crunch was, and claimed to be able to see, quote, round white spots inside its mouth. And he said that it was about 25 to 30 feet long. And so this monster was much smaller.
I was going to say, that's a lot less than 187.
Yeah. Smaller than 187, but closer in size to the one that the railroad crew saw. So I'm guessing that Captain Crunch didn't know what he was talking about. He does. He also is like me. He's like, that looks 187 feet.
Yes.
And it's like a lizard.
Yes. Just pulls out a number. That looks like it's probably 187 feet to me.
Maybe he meant inches. Speaking of the lizard, she's burrowing. She's hiding from us. She's mad because we didn't get her out of her thing. She's like, how dare you? I was sitting here staring at you, just begging to be let out.
She can wait.
Alright, so the next month, a steamship called the W.B. Eddy claimed to have run into Champ and nearly turned over, according to the tourists on board. They crashed right into him.
I was going to say, that they literally ran
into... they, like, crashed into him. That was literally the only line that I saw. There's, like, no other reports of this. You would think that that one would have been more detailed.
Yeah.
In 1945, passengers of the SS I mess this word up every single time I say it. Ticonderoga.
I was going to say, are you trying to say Ticonderoga?
Sure am. You would think as a math teacher who uses pencils, I would just know how to say that word. But I only use mechanical pencils, so.
You can say Bic.
I can say Bic. Are we sure? So anyway, the passengers of this boat claim to have seen Champ, and this was multiple sightings at once. The most famous sighting of Champ comes from a woman named Sandra Mancy, who in 1977 was vacationing with her family at the lake and took a picture that looks like the head and neck of a dinosaur. So, like I told you, it was a little foot.
Yeah.
Let's see. In 2003, researchers with the Fauna Communications Research Institute were working with the Discovery Channel and recording sounds in Lake Champlain. The sounds the group heard were said to be similar to that of beluga whales or dolphins, neither of which live in this freshwater lake.
Okay.
The researchers described the sounds as echolocation sounds, despite none of the known native creatures being able to echolocate. So they don't know what the sounds came from. In the summer... So don't you want to get in the lake? I know how much you love
I don't like
large
natural bodies of water anyway.
Yeah, so just jump on in.
I don't need to be in a lake with an actual lake monster.
Let's see. In the summer of 2005, a fisherman named Dick Falter and his stepson Pete Baudet took a video while out on the lake. And I did watch this video. You definitely see like a disturbance on the water, but it's super grainy because it's a digital camera in 2005.
Yeah.
There's another part of the video where, like, right up close to the boat, you kind of see something snake-like under the surface.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, big, not like a river snake or, like, you know, whatever. Like, it looks big.
A lake snake.
A lake snake. And so, like, you see something under the surface. The fishermen claim that at times you'd see the back or the nose come up out of the water. Unfortunately, that part is not on the tape.
Of course it's not.
The most recent well-known sighting is from 2024. So, have you heard of a book or a movie called Lucy and the Lake Monster?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I had never heard of this before. So
maybe I'm thinking of a different one. I think I'm thinking of The Water Horse.
Oh, okay.
Which is also about...
Yes. Well, so the book was published in 2023, and it's about a 9-year-old girl who is orphaned, and she and her grandfather go out on Lake Champlain looking for Champ. And the book was made into a movie, and the IMDb synopsis reads, Lucy and the Lake Monster is the story of Lucy, an orphan girl who believes in Champ, the legendary sea serpent of Lake Champlain. Lucy and her grandpa, Papa Jerry, look for Champ despite mockery and mercenary forces opposing them.
All right, that sounds a little serious.
Sounds very serious. So while filming the movie in 2024, the filmmakers were running through their drone footage that was taken over the lake on Bulwaga Bay. And in the footage, you can see a large creature swimming behind the boat that the two lead actors were on. I meant to pull up the pictures so you could see it because it's kind of crazy.
We're filming a movie about Champ while being followed by Champ, and we're not paying attention to the fact we're being followed by said
exactly
creature.
Yeah. So, all right, you see the boat, right?
Yes.
So back here, do you see that there's something in the water?
Yes.
And like it's something big.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's definitely something there.
Yeah.
So the reports say that the boat is about 12 feet long and that it's about 4 feet wide at its like widest place, and the creature or whatever it is behind the boat looks bigger than the boat.
Okay.
Over the years, well, I kind of jumped right past that, but yeah, they're filming a movie about Champ, and Champ's like cruising behind him.
He's like, wait, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm ready for my close-up.
I watched another, because I was trying to find the video that the filmmakers had posted of like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't find it, but I had found another, like, where a YouTuber was, like, talking about the video, and he had kind of, like, zoomed in on it, and the way he was looking at it, and I could see what he was saying, it looks like a shark.
Yeah.
But that would be weird because it would be a really big shark, and it's a freshwater lake. And I know, like, bull sharks can live in freshwater, but I don't know that there are any accounts of sharks being in Lake Champlain. And so, I don't know, it just, like, I saw other comments on the thing saying, well, he's looking at it backwards. If you look at it that way, it looks like the shark, but the creature's actually facing the other direction. And so if you look at it from the other direction, it doesn't look like shark and everything. But it, whatever it is, it's something.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. And it's a thing that you probably want to jump in the water with and swim around with, right?
I was literally just sitting here thinking, don't get in water. Just...
No water.
Just don't get in water.
What if it's a swimming pool?
That's slightly better.
Okay.
But don't get in natural bodies of water.
Were you ever afraid that there was a shark in the deep end by the diving board?
No, I've never had that fear.
I did. Because it was always dark over there. And it was really deep over there. And so I always afraid there was a shark under the diving board.
No, I don't think I've ever had the shark in the swimming pool fear.
I don't know if you ever noticed, I never really got on the diving board.
I got on it a few times, but mostly I'm afraid of heights. And so, like, that was the main reason I didn't like to get on it.
As much as I, like, love sharks, I don't want to be in the water with the shark. Like, I want it to, like, stick its little nose up and give a little boopy.
While it bites your hand off?
No. I don't want it to bite my hand off. It just will give a little boop. It's like that thing where you're like, it's not going to bite me because it will sense that I love it.
Sense how much I love it, and it's not going to bite me.
It's not going to. So, over the years, there have been hundreds of sightings and many grainy pictures submitted as proof of Champ. All sightings either claim to see a giant serpent or, as the Mansi photo would suggest, a plesiosaur-like creature similar to Nessie in Scotland. The dog is burping, I think. There's a sign at Bulwaga Bay near Port Henry where they claim to be the home of Champ and the home of modern-day sightings because this is where Captain Crunch was when he saw Champ. They have a sign that includes about 134 names of people who have sighted Champ. It may be more, but this was just from what I could see of the picture online because it almost looks like a historical marker kind of sign thing.
Yeah.
And it's got names and dates, but I couldn't blow it up big enough to, like, really see the dates on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can keep this fair and balanced, I thought I'd better give the debunking side of the story.
Yes.
So, as we stated earlier, it doesn't seem to actually be documented that Samuel de Champlain actually saw a lake monster. His account sounds like a gar. According to fish people, though, it does sound like a larger than normal gar from what he was talking about. But that doesn't mean anything. Like, fish get big when they're in big bodies of water. As Faren loves goldfish. So, just so you know.
I love those pictures of goldfish that got dumped in lakes and they're like massive and mutant and
it's like her favorite thing ever.
I kind of feel sorry for them though at the same time. Like, I feel like it would hurt to be that big.
That's how I feel about all of the tall kids that I teach. I'm like, did your growing pains, like, really hurt?
Like, goldfish are usually quite small, and for it to grow that massive and, like, grotesque, like, I feel like it must hurt.
I don't know. I don't know if it does or not. I don't know if fish have growing pains.
I don't know. It's just, I kind of feel sorry for them, but I'm also disgusted by them.
So, more reasons to just jump right in that natural body of water.
It's just a giant goldfish.
That's what it is. Champ's a giant goldfish. But he's
just
like
kept on a growing.
He's like the because he's not like the orange goldfish.
Yes.
So he's like a gray goldfish.
One
like those Popeye goldfish.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of those black ones.
Yeah. Okay. So the Mansi photo from 1977. The entire bay of the lake where the picture was taken is no deeper than 14 feet. And so Joe Nickel, who was the senior research fellow for the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry and an associate dean for the Center of Inquiry Institute, didn't even know that was a thing, felt that it's a thing, felt that it was unlikely that a large creature would be able to swim in such shallow waters and definitely couldn't hide very well in those shallow waters. He thought that it was most likely a tree trunk or a log in the picture. The original picture was also sent to a nautical expert at the State University of New York at Plattsburgh named Philip Rhines to authenticate. Rhines said that the two most important elements in verifying a photo were missing. So first, Sandra Mancy claimed to have thrown away the negative. Without the negative, there was no way to enlarge the photo and keep like the integrity of the picture as they were enlarging it. And then Mancy also claimed that she could no longer remember exactly where the picture had been taken, and therefore they were unable to verify size or distance or even that the picture had even been taken at Lake Champlain. But like, I kind of wondered about that because would it not be possible for someone to match it to like shoreline images or something? And especially now, like, I mean, unless the landscape has just changed so much in 50 years or whatever, but internet sleuths are really good at locating places on like Google Earth and Google Maps and stuff, and so that seems like something that somebody would be able to do, but maybe not. So as for the video shot by the two fishermen, FBI analysts did look at the video and verify that it had not been manipulated and it appeared to be authentic. But one of the analysts did state that, quote, "There's no place in there that I can actually see an animal or any other object on the surface." So in general, scientists seem to think that what people are seeing is a giant sturgeon or gar. Others think that people are just seeing common animals or things like floating logs, or they're just seeing like weird wave patterns. Others think the sightings could be attributed to pareidolia, which is the psychological phenomenon where the brain perceives recognizable shapes and patterns in random or ambiguous stimuli, like seeing shapes and faces in clouds.
Like seeing the Virgin Mary and...
Oh, yeah, true.
We talked about
we did talk about
that,
didn't we? I was like, I've heard this word recently.
Yes.
But I thought maybe it was just one of those words that, like, you know. But
no, we talked about it in the Virgin Mary episode.
We did. I turned off my iPad. Okay, so despite the skepticism some may have as to whether a plesiosaur survived hundreds, thousands, millions of years, or that there's a giant serpent or whatever living beneath the surface of Lake Champlain, Champ has a pretty good hold over the area. So Port Henry, New York holds Champ Day every first Saturday in August. In 2005, the minor league team Vermont Expos changed their name to the Vermont Lake Monsters, and Champ is their mascot. Many establishments use Champ in their logos and marketing, I guess much like Roswell does with aliens. Champ has been featured on Japanese television, The Today Show, Unsolved Mysteries.
We don't know.
I call Nessie a girl and I call Champ a boy. I don't know, but he had a Discovery Channel special called America's Loch Ness Monster. He's been on some other History Channel or Discovery Channel show that was about like river. I don't know if it was river monsters specifically, but something like that. And fun fact, Champ's first sighting predates Nessie's first sighting.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give you a couple of other fun facts.
Okie dokie.
Champ is actually protected from the P.T. Barnums of the world by laws in both New York and Vermont. In 1981, Port Henry, New York declared its waters a safe haven for Champ. In 1982, the state of Vermont passed a House resolution protecting Champ. And in 1982, it was supposed to be 1983. In 1983, the state of New York State Assembly and Senate both passed resolutions protecting Champ.
Good.
Yep. So, P.T. Barnum's...
You can't have his hide.
I almost said ancestors.
Yes.
P.T. Barnum's...
Predecessor? No,
that's
the
before.
First. Successors. There we go.
That's not really what I wanted, though. I was thinking of, like, children and...
Oh.
What?
His progeny.
Maybe. So they can't put Champ's hide in the World Fair. So the last thing, and I just wasn't sure where to put this into the story.
Okay.
So I'm just throwing it here at the end. When I was looking at pictures of that sign on Bulwaga Bay that has all of the sightings, like the names of it, I found a picture of a sign that reads, "Origin of Champ. Scorned suitor transformed into lake monster when he plunged into this bay after drowning his love, Bulwaga. New York Folklore, William G. Pomeroy Foundation, 2021. And I was like, what does this mean? Because I didn't see anything else about this anywhere else that I was researching.
Right, this seems a little out of left field or whatever.
Yeah. So I found a website for the William G. Pomeroy Foundation, which in their mission statement or about us page, it says the William G. Pomeroy Foundation is committed to supporting the celebration and preservation of community history and working to improve the probability of finding appropriate donor matches or other life-saving treatments for blood cancer patients. And I was like,
again,
still not getting it. So
it gets weirder and weirder.
It does. So I read farther down on their mission statement, and I found later it says, our other initiative is helping people to celebrate their community's history. We meet this by providing grants to obtain signage in the form of roadside markers and plaques. Since 2005, we have funded more than 2,600 historical markers across the United States, all the way to Alaska. We have grown to offer 6 signature marker grant programs in addition to marker programs funded through partnerships with nonprofit, municipal, and academic organizations. So I guess they're the ones who put the sign up.
Okay.
So they have the origins to this weird origin story on their website. And I say weird only that it was completely separate from anything else I had read. It wasn't included. And I am just going to read their website to you because it's not very long and it seems silly to try to paraphrase it because it was pretty short. But just for citation's sake, I got this from the William G. Pomeroy Foundation website. So it says, stories about a large creature lurking in the depths of Lake Champlain have been told and retold for at least 2 centuries. Famously known as Champ or Champy, this lake monster has captured imaginations locally and beyond. In Port Henry's Bulwaga Bay, where hundreds of sightings have been reported, legends surrounding Champ are especially strong, and the community is often referred to as the home of Champ. One story in particular explains the origins of the iconic lake monster in the bay. As the legend goes, there once was a Native American princess named Bulwaga who lived near the lake. The princess was sought after by 2 suitors, each who professed their love to her. After Bulwaga made her decision, the rejected suitor was overcome by a jealous rage. He followed after her to the water's edge where she was about to swim. The scorned suitor struck Bulwaga, knocking her into the water where she tragically drowned. Realizing the horror of his actions, the suitor followed after her and jumped into the bay while holding heavy stones to sink into the deep. The legend ends with the angry fates transforming him into a lake monster forever, seeking Bulwaga through his unrequited love. The legend of Princess Bulwaga has circulated in local oral tradition for generations. To this day, Bulwaga Bay, Port Henry, and the town of Mariah draw curiosity seekers to the shores of Lake Champlain for the chance at spotting the infamous Leviathan. As of 2021, there was even a wooden sculpture of Princess Bulwaga at the entrance to the municipal-owned campground at Bulwaga Bay.
Okay.
So, with that, I leave you with the story of Champ. America's Loch Ness Monster. Or Nessie is Scotland's Lake Champlain Monster.
Yes.
Since he was there first, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
They should have baby monsters.
Well, they're quite far apart from one another.
They're 187 feet big, though.
We're a lot more than 187 feet from Scotland, though.
Yeah, but, he could just swim across the pond. They could meet halfway.
Again, we don't know their genders.
Okay, assuming. But also, if a plesiosaur has survived this long, I feel like it can do anything it wants to do.
Yeah.
Do anything it puts its mind to.
I guess so.
Yeah. I was always afraid to tell Bear about Champ when we were in New York because I didn't want him to freak out and not want to touch the water.
Mm-hmm. He does get scared of things easily.
Yeah, he has too much anxiety for a little kid. But yeah, so main thing I remember from Lake Champlain was me and Mikey finding those weird scavenger hunt clues.
The note things.
Yeah, that was a time. It was nice.
Yeah,
it was a nice trip.
Upstate New York is nice.
It is. We got to see Whitney get married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good trip.
Got to eat some pancakes.
Oh, chocolate chip pancakes from the Bear Place.
Yeah.
I dream about those pancakes. Someday I'll eat those pancakes again. Well, what else?
I don't think I have anything else.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
All right. Well, if Faren doesn't get her life together and write us a story for next week, my story next week is not going to be so much fun as a river monster. I've been working on it. I've been reading books.
That's too much work.
They're not long books. They're short books.
I don't even like to read websites.
Well, I just, didn't want to... I don't know. You know how, you read different things and the information is different?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just wanted to be thorough.
All right.
So, that's what I'm doing.
Doesn't hurt to be thorough.
No.
I mean, it physically hurts to be thorough, but...
Absolutely.
It doesn't hurt in the long run to be thorough.
I'm going to have to take one of my omeprazoles. That nether sauce got me.
Yeah.
Go eat a Minecraft Happy Meal. They're delicious. I mean, they're just regular food, but they have toys and nether sauce.
Yes.
Sometimes McDonald's is fun. Well, we're a barrel of laughs, so...
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I am. I just don't have anything to say.
It's really good for a podcast host to not have anything to say.
Yeah, we'll cut out all the awkward silence, but...
Every single time.
I don't know. It's been a really mundane week. I mean, it's only Tuesday, but it's been a really mundane week, and I just still feel kind of cruddy, and so...
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
I don't really have much to say in the way of that. I'm tired of coughing. That's really the only thing I have to say is that I'm tired of coughing.
You know, as congested and terrible as I felt yesterday, I wasn't nearly as congested today. I was hardly congested at all, actually. It was really nice. I could smell again. I could taste again today.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't really have any problems with losing my scent and my taste, but I don't know. I've lost my voice for the most part, and that's always fun when you have to wrangle children and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, did you have any more kids slip out? During 6th period?
I had to stop one kid. I don't remember if it was 5th or 6th period, but I guess it was 5th period. And he slipped out, and they were all telling me, but I saw him slip out. And I caught him. He was about to go out the outside doors. I don't know if I assume he probably had another class elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, hey, what you doing? I said, the bell hasn't rung yet. And he was just like, it's only 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's what they like to say.
And I was just like, yeah, but I can't let you leave early. I said, your teacher may be able to let you leave early, but I can't let you leave early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're fun like that.
And so I stood out in the hall where I could see them come from either way.
It's just hilarious because it's they have a 6-minute passing period.
I know.
Which is enough time to get from the farthest ends of the school to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And, they don't need more minutes than that. My old lady legs that are only, 2 feet long can walk that distance in 6 minutes. So, they're ridiculous.
Yeah. They're the laziest people.
Absolutely. I was going to tell you something else and I forgot. Oh, well. Okay, well... Oh, it's prom week. I get to go to prom on Saturday. Be a pretty princess. Yeah. I think I'm going to get a tiara.
Many do.
I should. Alright, well, remember you can find us on social media at Twisted and Mysterious, or email us at twistedandmysteriouspodcast@gmail.com. If you are going to email us, don't forget the podcast part, twistedandmysteriousPodcast@gmail.com. I was stupid when I created that email address. And send us your stories or story suggestions.
Yes.
And
we would love both.
Thanks for listening. We are really liking seeing our map. It's covered in red dots these days.
Yes, we like to watch it expand.
We sure do.
So we appreciate all of you who listen and download, and if you keep coming back, we definitely appreciate that.
Yep, and if you have a second, I don't know if you can do it on Spotify. I know on Apple Podcasts, it gives you the option to rate and review. If you could do that, that would be great, and it would help us out a lot. I think Spotify lets you do it now too, but maybe on the app. I don't use Spotify, so I don't remember exactly how to use it. I think those are all of the things I had to say.
I think they are.
Okay.
All right, so as always...
No, you don't. As always,
No,
nothing. You don't
as
even know
always,
what to say.
nothing.
As always, you don't know how to say the
As
words.
always, I forgot my own tagline. Remember that people are gross and don't get murdered.
And don't get eaten by a river monster.
Just don't get in natural bodies of water.
Or maybe you'll get eaten by a goldfish. Okay, bye.
Bye.